Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I am so glad that you're here. Today, I wanted to really just talk about choices. I've made a lot of choices recently, and I actually got to thinking about just how many unconscious or subconscious choices that we're making all the time. And I'm just reminding you here that, you know what? It's a choice. And maybe let's look at our choices. Just one, just two. You don't have to reevaluate your entire life, but just take a peek. So before we begin, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share this with a friend if it does resonate with you. Share this with them and talk to them about your choices and their choices. Without further ado, let's begin. All right, low key, I am back to being a little bit behind. And by behind, I mean recording these episodes day of instead of day before. So these episodes have been coming out a little bit later in the day for that reason. And I was thinking about that and just how much of a choice that is. Like I chose to, I guess, fall behind a bit. And then I was thinking about just choices in general and how many of those that we actually have every single day. Like, have you ever really noticed the unconscious or like the subconscious choices that we're making all the time? Do you notice which foot you start walking with? Because you could physically start with either foot, but you start with one of them. That's a choice. What about the foods that you prefer? Have you ever noticed those times when you just start snacking on something and before you know it, you're halfway done with a bag of chips, wondering what the heck is even going on? How did I get this far? That's a choice as well, but sometimes one that we don't even realize we're making. How about how you feel? Have you ever noticed yourself actually tricking yourself into feeling an emotion? Usually one that's not so helpful, one that's a little bit painful. Maybe you're tricking yourself into being a little frustrated or sad or angry or disappointed or upset. Maybe not everybody does that, but I have that moment more often than I'd like to admit. The one that I get most often happens when my brain does this silly little thing called catastrophizing, which is I get super creative. I go into a daydream type of land, and the daydream turns into a little bit of a nightmare. It takes a dark turn, but I don't leave the daydream. I stay in it, and I wonder, okay, what if? Like, if that were to happen, what would I do? Just in case, let me be prepared. And I used to do this so hard and so long to the point that I would physically get stressed. Like, I would be restless at night and maybe I'd even start sweating a little bit. There's times I've even made myself cry from these. And I want to just say right off the top that I don't do this as much anymore. And when it does kind of naturally come up, I have a lot of ways of recognizing it and making sure to snap out of it. So it never gets as bad as it used to. But it's something that I realize now was a choice. Again, a lot of the things we do are by choice, just not a conscious choice. Realizing that, you can actually start looking at all of the choices you make, wondering, okay, why did I do that? Like, why did I actually choose that over another option? And maybe today's reminder, today's download for you is all about choosing the right things, like choosing what's right for you. It doesn't have to be the objective right thing. It doesn't have to be the perfect decision, but make the choices that actually help you, that actually push you to grow, that help you learn. Sometimes the choice is to just be on autopilot 5% less of the time. Autopilot's good. Autopilot is natural. Our bodies, our minds have it for a reason. You know, we have these functions, we have these abilities because it's all about saving our mind and our body's energy. When we have these scripts, like habits that get triggered and then we do the habit and then we get a reward, it's so that we actually don't have to think about what we're doing. We can just do it. That's good because that means we get to think less and use that energy on other things, maybe physically moving our body or using our minds for problem solving or resourcefulness or communicating, whatever it could be at the time. So it's not bad to be on autopilot, but sometimes it is super helpful to question how we conduct our autopilot. Sometimes it could be super helpful to stop for just a brief moment and make sure that whatever we're doing, whatever the autopilot sequence is, it's one that's actually working for us, one that's actually helping. I'm not saying you have to question your entire life, not at all. Sometimes it just starts one decision at a time. Ask yourself, okay, is this habit working for me? Or is it an old habit that used to serve me? It used to help me. It used to keep me safe. And now it's not doing such a good job. I've had a lot of those. A lot of those things that I've had to say, thank you for protecting me. Thank you for being a part of my life and making me feel safe up until now. But it's time for me to stop doing this. It's time for you to go, because what's helped me in the past isn't exactly what's going to help me in the future. Sometimes having that conversation with yourself and making a very conscious decision, a very conscious choice to do something different is all the difference. And so I want to encourage you to just be a little bit reflective today. Ask yourself a couple more questions. Choose a different path. Doesn't have to be all the time. Just do it for today. See what your mind comes up with. I'm a big believer and a big proponent of ask different questions to get different answers, right? And the quality of our questions determines the quality of our life. I often talk to people about everything that I talk about on here. And if you scroll through my channel, you will see hundreds of hours of me talking. And so I don't expect you to listen to all of that. And I don't expect anybody to really go through all of that. But when they see that, they ask, okay, where do I start? What's one thing that I could do? Because there's so much that you shared that it feels a bit overwhelming. And I get that. And I always say this, sometimes it's the smallest thing that will make the biggest difference. Sometimes it's this 20% of actions that will take you 80% of the way there. And sometimes all it takes is asking yourself a different question. Instead of asking yourself a question like, how can I change my life? Asking a much smaller question like, how can I change this question can really do incredible things for you, can really make or break a situation, make or break a problem, make or break a solution. So go out there today. Maybe ask yourself a different question about your health, maybe your finances, maybe your dreams and desires. Maybe ask yourself a different question about the people you spend time with. Ask yourself what you really want, not what you're told you should want, but if you can have a perfect day, just one perfect day, what would that look like? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Have you ever chosen to ask yourself what you really want? Because that's also a choice. It's also a choice to do whatever you have to do to live the life that you want to live. We're all making choices every day. Every day we make easy choices. Every day we make maybe some tougher ones, but a choice is a choice. It's in our choices that we get to determine how our life shapes out. And I want the best life for you possible. I want you to build, to grow, to live, to learn, to love, to laugh. And sometimes when someone asks, okay, where do you start? It can start with a simple choice to live a life of love, to live a life of laughing, to live a life of health and vitality, to live a life of adventure. It starts with a choice like that, and not an affirmation, not an incantation, nothing like that. I mean a genuine choice, a genuine decision to do that for yourself. You'll know when you actually make that choice because it's more than just telling yourself that you're going to love more. Honestly, you'll probably tell yourself even less, but you'll start acting like it. It's a very simple thing, not easy, but simple, and 100% worth it. Like I often say, this life of ours is not going to be all easy or all hard, but if we do it right, it'll be all worth it. I just want to thank you so much for listening, so much for being here. It really just means the world to me that you want more for yourself and that you keep showing up and that you keep sharing what you've learned here today with those around you. I'm sure the people in your lives are getting positively impacted. And it's all because of you. It's all because you've made the choice, you've made the decision to leave your corner of the world better than the way you found it. So I just want to encourage you to keep doing that. And maybe let me know down in the comments below what some of your favorite choices are. It could literally be anything. And that's the fun of it. Our choices are everywhere. Just like one of my favorite choices is living a life that's right for me. Living a life filling my own cup first so that I have more to give to others. So whatever it is for you, just remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.